What is this title? I spent 5 million so you can go to space for free. What? That's crazy.
This is essentially a 1.2 million pound, 22-story building being violently launched into space. And 35 of those 1.2 million pounds is something I spent $5 million in the last 3 years of my life creating, which is the reason right here that I'm trying my hardest not to lose my lunch. But if we succeeded, there would be a satellite in space that could wirelessly receive your picture from down here on Earth and then display that picture on a screen in space, where it would snap you an actual selfie over any location on the planet.
That's
and I made a
it.
secret promise. If we somehow pulled this off, I would make use of the selfie satellite free forever to anyone on the planet. But before I can make good on that promise, we need to reach two very difficult milestones. The first of which was just escaping Earth's gravity with a successful rocket launch, where there's a million things that can happen, only one of which is good. And second, the satellite would need to boot up and transform itself into selfie mode, assuming it even survived the violent launch. Because if any one of the 7,836 parts that make up the satellite break, there's absolutely no way to fix them, which would mean I invested 3 years and $5 million with absolutely nothing to show for it. For milestone 1, the plan was to throw a giant watch party with a bunch of my subscribers at an airport a few miles away from the
That's
actual
sick.
launch.
What the fuck? That's a sick, dude. Damn, chat.
Ready for this? What if that happens tomorrow as like launches happen?
And I think we gotta stick a camera on it and ask him to shoot for us, right?
This, by the way, is Tim Dodd, aka Everyday Astronaut, the rocket whisperer.
Everyday
of the
Astronaut.
internet. And I'd like
Aye.
to once and for all point out that in this clip,
Aye.
where he's talking to Elon about the Starship hot gas thrusters,
You don't even need a cold gas thruster system. You already have hot gas.
But this is only for the booster, right?
Yes.
where Elon considers his suggestion on the spot,
Although arguably, now you mention it, might be wise to do this for the ship too. We're gonna fix that.
and then
Love it.
7 months later says this.
I'd say that's like one of the biggest improvements that we've made.
That is Tim behind the camera, not me. Because it feels like stolen valor every couple months when the internet mistakenly credits this exchange to me. How many of these have you seen here?
At Vandenberg, I've never seen one with my own eyes because it's always foggy.
Dang it! That's why they call it fog and burn. And it turns out for the US government, all that fog is not a bug, it's a feature. Because one of the reasons they placed the base here in the height of the Cold War was because the persistent cloud cover would better hide the nuclear missile silos that were once placed here from all the Russian spy satellites. Which is great for hiding stuff from the Soviets, bad for a live stream rocket launch. So there's a good chance tomorrow it's foggy and we see nothing. Like it would just be all clouds.
I mean, I'm talking where you can't even see like 100 feet in front of you, that foggy.
Wow.
Oh,
So after a bit
damn.
of
That's
party
crazy.
prep, we headed over
What,
to the launch
dude?
site.
This is a heck of a place to launch a rocket.
So Tim could set up a bunch of remote trigger cameras to capture some beautiful slow-mo launch footage. And once the sun went down, the rocket came up. So after a long day, we're all set up here. We just went through the run of show for the live stream. I think we're in good shape. It all just comes down to tomorrow and getting a good night's rest tonight. And we have a big, massive
Damn.
rocket bounce house. No one's guarding the entrance.
That's funny.
I
as
feel
fuck.
like Neil Armstrong. To infinity and beyond.
Wait, isn't it Buzz Lightyear? What? Neil
How
Armstrong.
much is 76 inches in feet?
76 inches is equivalent to 6 feet 4 inches.
I'm good. Gotta go before we get in trouble. All right, we're headed over to the launch site.
Ready for
I
liftoff?
slept as poorly last night as I have in over a year. I'm very nervous. There's just a lot at stake here. There's just so many things that could go wrong. Not just today, but as the satellite goes up, that it's like that nervous excitement in your stomach that makes you want to jump for joy and puke in the toilet. This is the clearest
Dude,
morning you'll
that's
ever see here
crazy.
at Vandenberg Space Force Base, so it's a very good omen. And after meeting some of our first robotics volunteers,
What up, guys? Thanks for coming out. Let's do this. Let's do this.
and photobombing some selfies, Tim and I did a final practice run through.
In 5 minutes, we're going out to start hyping the crowd up.
Welcome everyone to the live stream, to this launch, and switched on the live stream.
We're live. That's a big moment. We're live. Woo, I'm feeling the nerves.
Please work. Now, as a
Damn, dude, look
reminder,
at that.
the
Look at
rocket
that
has
setup,
15
chat.
minutes to
Dang, that
launch,
setup is
catch the
like,
first stage rocket,
Jesus.
and then make sure it lands safely, and then activate the second stage, at which point it can then push out all the satellites. And nailing that perfectly is the only way we avoid the million things that could go wrong. What's up, everyone? You guys ready for a rocket launch? We kick things off with a little bit of science, making some clouds, a bit of fire breathing. I'm a dragon! And even took some questions from the crowd, like this first question about how all this compares to the Mars rover landing. Honestly, like, I haven't felt this feeling for about a decade.
7 years of my life and career come down to about 7 minutes.
Damn, that's
It's
crazy,
just
dude.
this feeling of nervous anticipation, but there's like nothing I can do. We've done everything we can. It's out of our hands, right?
Touchdown confirmed. We're seeing.
Oh my god,
Everything in life is a
dude.
dice roll, but you just have to stack the dice in your favor. I think we're live. Welcome to the SatGus official launch party. So we're gonna have a very fun re-entry for stage 1, and we all get to feel a sonic boom. You'll hear it, you'll feel it. There will be no mistaking when it happens.
SatGus is heading out into a sun-synchronous orbit.
The same orbit the spy satellites have. Doesn't like when I say that. Oh, there she is.
So is it for,
So
alright,
this
let's
is
see.
a live shot of the actual Falcon 9 rocket with SatGus on
The
top.
SatGus is in there, you guys.
But this thing's actually huge. It's about 22 stories tall.
We're sending a building to space today.
Damn, dude, 22 stories, that's just huge,
This is like
bro.
3 years of blood, sweat, tears, hard work from me and my team, and there is a lot on the line here. Whew. Okay, here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
No way. Ooh. Oh, I thought they were there. No way. Oh shit, they're far away. This damn.
SatGus is in the air, baby! It is ascending on 9 Merlin engines, propelling it into space. Look at that. It's glowing extremely bright because of the carbon being burnt off from the kerosene. It's almost as bright as the sun. So you'll notice it'll start to get dimmer as the atmosphere. That's the rumble I'm talking about.
That's the rumble.
That's what I live for, Mark.
Wow. That's incredible.
That's a 22-story tall building flying into
Damn,
space.
chat. What? That's crazy.
Feel that rumble.
The 9 engines will cut off here in a second. Right there. That was main engine cut off. Now we're going to see the second stage eject, and we're going to start seeing my favorite thing in the world. It's the boost backwards. So there's second stage
Chad, I'm
ignition.
interested.
Now we're running on the single Merlin 1D vacuum engine, and the booster is turning around right now, and it's going to light its engines again for the boost back burn. There it is. You can start to see that extra exhaust going almost the wrong way. That's the booster coming home, guys. It's probably
what?
somewhere around those clouds, maybe higher. Oh, right up there.
Oh, wow.
Once entry burn ends, you'll be shocked at how fast it's coming down. So you can still see it smoke.
Wow.
There we go. Look at how fast it's coming down.
Bro, that shit looks like it's like so happening so quick.
Cruising. Wow.
It's huge. Falling back right to the landing site. You can see a good smoke trail. This is easy to track now. You're gonna think like, okay, when's it lighting? When's it lighting? Come on, baby. Turn on those engines.
Wow.
But it waits until the last second. There it is! Landing burn, baby! Now we're not gonna hear the sonic boom in the engine for almost another minute again. So it is about to land. You'll see on the screens, it's about to touch down. It's deploying its landing legs. Right there, landing legs deployed.
Dude, that's
Right
sick.
now,
What the
it touches down,
fuck,
probably
dude?
one of the
Dude,
sonic
that's
booms. So get ready.
crazy.
Here it comes.
Touchdown.
Yeah, baby, here comes the sonic booms.
Wait for it. Maybe science doesn't work.
Maybe science doesn't work like
Stage
that,
2
no?
is about to turn off its engine, which will officially put SatGus in orbit.
Oh my god.
Hopefully that helps you sleep just a little bit better tonight.
That'll help. I gotta be honest with you guys, that was kind of emotional for me. Growing up, just looking out at the stars and just like thinking about who we are
and the potential of us as humans. And then, I got to work at NASA, and that was an amazing experience with the rover, but like doing your own hardware and also making it like a full circle moment with you guys. There's a lot of kids' pictures on this thing. And so kind of being that catalyst and the incredible things you guys are going to do to help the world and humanity, this is a moment. This feels really good. Thank you guys so much for coming out here.
Dude, yeah. That's so awesome. Can you believe it? Like, actually all worked out.
It's more emotional than I thought it would be. It's like a lot of work from a lot of people.
Damn.
There's something about just like progress and humanity represented in that, right? And just like the power of engineering to do good. I don't know, it was overwhelming. So cool. So cool.
That's
That
crazy.
was awesome. That was like cooler than I was expecting. Could you imagine if it was just fogged over?
Nominal orbit insertion.
After receiving word SatGas was about 1 minute away from being pushed away from
Exo
the
launch.
second stage to orbit all alone, I ran over to watch it happen.
Ooh.
You're next. You're next.
Let's go, SatGas.
Oh, there's something.
SatGas. Separation confirmed.
SatGas.
Space, man. You're
Separation
free flying.
confirmed.
You are free flying.
You did your part. Now we got to do ours.
Good luck, man.
Whew. Still kind of riding the adrenaline high from all that, but we've got one down now, one to go. SpaceX has done their job. Now it's up to us and our engineering to see if we're actually getting space selfies back from this thing. Now there is a silver lining to all this waiting, because now I've got the perfect chance to show you my backyard, which you might notice now isn't even on this planet. Because this year we're taking Camp Crunch Labs to space.
Oh, that's sick.
What the heck is Camp Crunch Labs, you ask? Camp Crunch Labs is your key to fighting that summer brain drain. With an 8-week virtual space-themed summer camp that hops to each of the planets in our solar system. Featuring weekly, so that when the milestone 2 booting up, and I'll see you in camp. So with camp well on
Alright,
its
my
way,
bad, chat. I just wanted to
milestone
skip
1
that
completed,
Crunch
now
Labs.
we had to nail milestone 2. Booting
But then
up
again, no more
the
chat.
still
We can't be going through that.
functioning satellite and taking the first picture. On part 1 of pulling that off was scheduling some time to shore up my confidence.
This guy.
So that when the big morning came,
That's funny.
I wouldn't be terrified out of my mind. I'm absolutely terrified out of my mind. We got my good luck peanuts. And we got the team.
Thank you all
Hey.
for taking time to join us today. Welcome to SatGas Mission Control.
And with the formalities out of the way, it was finally time to see if we actually had a working satellite.
Ooh.
What do we have to do to get it started?
Just say go.
Go.
We're ready for commissioning.
Oh, no! Okay, so step 1, this is the boot up, right?
Yeah, this is our flight computer, and we're waiting for a sign that it is alive, and hopefully it'll be booting up soon.
Now, boot up was the first of 7 steps we need to pass in order to achieve
Oh,
mission
damn.
success, including things like unfolding the solar panels and deploying the camera. And we'd be writing this process out alongside our incredibly talented build and operation partners at Tyvac International, based in Turin, Italy. Is 3 minutes supposed to be how long it takes for a boot up?
It should take about 5 minutes.
Why didn't you start with that, Ian? And by the way, for reals, it may not work, and I think it's important. We preach like failure's part of the process. It's gonna be devastating. It stings, it should suck. But then we get to try again, stoked about how much we've learned.
Should we pass around the good luck peanuts?
Oh yeah.
So there's a tradition at NASA JPL regarding peanuts, because in the early 1960s, they had a string of 6 failed missions trying to send a satellite to the moon. But on the 7th attempt, the flight manager brought some peanuts to hand out to the team, and that mission was successful, effectively breaking the curse.
Ever since that day at JPL, when they have like
That's
a launch
crazy.
situation
Okay.
like this, they bring peanuts. Of course, they don't believe in superstitions, but holy crap. We're covered.
And after what felt like an eternity,
Ooh, damn. Okay, that's sick.
That's a huge milestone because it's like we have a heartbeat. That's a big one.
The next thing that's going to happen is the solar array is going to unfold. Here we go. Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
2 for 7. Step 3 was to deploy the high-power antennas. Without these guys, there'd be no way to upload or download any pictures, and it would be a mission failure.
Right now it's deploying the antennas. If it jams, there's no hope of fixing it.
Okay.
Now at this point, SatGus was just about halfway to being fully operational, but now came the critical moment to test the antennas with our first full contact with one of our ground stations on Earth.
We're coming up on our first ground station pass above Antarctica, so hopefully within the next 30 seconds, we will see that we are communicating with the satellite.
Landing. Oh.
Something's not right. Stand by.
This was not good.
Oh.
Satellite has passed by McMurdo ground station, and we did not hear from it.
Now, one of the challenging things about talking with the satellite that's moving 5 miles per second is that as fast as it enters communication range, then leaves it. So we only have a few minutes to make contact until it's once again out of sight, and we have to wait to try again from an entirely different ground station somewhere else on Earth. In our case,
The next ground station is Svalbard, and that will occur hopefully in the next 5 to 10 minutes.
Diagnosing.
We really got sucked out of this room.
Where are the peanuts?
Where are the peanuts? Oh, crap.
Oh my god, dude. That's crazy.
We did a whole campaign of $30 million to like not litter with like Team C's, and this would just be like a big hunk of space litter.
so while we wait, this is a great time to shout out T-Mobile and Google Pixel for being bold enough to partner with me on what could potentially be the most expensive failure of my life. T-Mobile was the perfect choice because they're the first and only U.S. wireless provider with a satellite-to-mobile network.
That's crazy,
the
dude.
phone
What?
automatically connects to satellites like a floating cell tower. No downloading apps or learning new tech, it just works. So if you can see the sky, you can send a text message. And then the Google Pixel was perfect because of its bright, high-resolution display. On top of that, even though it definitely wasn't designed to work in space, the inherent durability of this phone meant it absolutely crushed all our testing when we exposed it to all the super harsh space environments it'd be facing. Now back at Mission Control, after 20 minutes of
Wait,
waiting,
it's using a
In this minute,
Google
we
phone?
should
What
have
the
another shot.
fuck?
because of its bright, high-resolution display. On top of that, even though it definitely wasn't designed to work in space, the inherent durability of this phone meant it absolutely crushed all our testing when we exposed it to all the super harsh space environments it'd be facing. Now back at Mission Control,
That's
after 20
crazy.
minutes of waiting,
So in this minute, we should have another shot at this. Come on, SatGus.
SatGus was hopefully about to come into range of the next ground station.
Ooh.
Oh,
Damn.
Now that we had some kind of communication established,
Oh, there we go. We're on the board.
we looked at the telemetry data and realized what had happened. Instead of the satellite looking nice and relatively stable like this, it was actually tumbling much more than expected, which meant the antennas weren't getting a clear line of sight to Earth. Luckily, our partners at Tyvek had thought of this possibility, and the satellite autonomously began using its torque rods to de-spin SatGus to the point that they were able to get a more solid connection with the ground stations on Earth. However, for step 5, we needed to be totally stable to start taking pictures.
Oh no.
Ooh.
The torque rods weren't enough so far to de-spin the satellite. It was not supposed to be rotating this fast. The satellite is still spinning too fast for the reaction.
What is it? What is the speed now?
Around 3 to 4 degrees
Well, that's
per
good.
second.
We're a little bit slower, especially because I'm almost all out of peanuts. I don't even like peanuts.
It's gonna be a while longer. Still tumbling too fast. We're at just shy of 2 degrees per second.
The torque rods did their job and slowed the satellite down enough so that we could activate the reaction wheels and get it to a perfect stop.
Nice. Okay. That's crazy.
Let's go!
Bro, oh my
We
god,
had made
dude.
it this far, and now it was time for the final 2 steps. Could we deploy a hopefully fully functioning camera and screen to start taking pictures?
Oh, yes! Yes!
We have confirmation of camera deployment.
That's a picture from space!
And now that the camera deployed, this means we had an actual live video feed in space for what would hopefully be a successful final step with the deployment of the screen.
We're looking at a video feed right now from the camera on SatGus, and we should see the display deploying.
Let's go!
At that point, there's only one thing left to do.
All right, the first ever selfie from space.
Pending? Oh shit. That's crazy.
I've been a big dreamer for as long as I can remember.
Dude, that's
So it's a
sick.
fist bump to all the other big dreamers
Damn.
out there who will one day do way more important things than I've ever done. I'm happy to declare that from today forward, taking a space selfie with Fat Gus is officially free forever to anyone on this incredible planet of ours.
Space outfit. That's
After you
sick.
embark to space with Fat Gus, you're now ready.
What? That's sick, chat. That was sick.